Let me ask you something honestly. If you're afraid of gaining the weight back, what's the first thing you do? Do you tighten up? Do you start controlling more, tracking harder, cutting back again? Well, most women over 40 believe that if they just stay disciplined enough, strict enough, controlled enough, they can prevent weight regain. But what if that control is actually the very thing slowing your progress? Hey, I'm Dr. Kisha Pickford, a nurse practitioner and holistic nutrition weight loss coach. And welcome to Weight Talk Thursdays, where we talk about weight loss after 40 in a way that protects your metabolism, your hormones, and your long-term peace. And today, we're talking about something powerful, why your body doesn't need more control, it needs safety. But here's the pattern I see over and over again. A woman starts losing weight. Maybe she's using medication. Maybe she's following a plan, or maybe she's just finally consistent. The scale moves, and instead of relief, fear shows up. What if I gain the weight back? What if this stops working? What if I mess this up? So she tightens everything. And here's the real problem. Most women believe control equals safety. But biologically, that's not how the body works. When you begin to restrict harder, stress harder, and monitor harder, your nervous system interprets that as a threat. And threat raises cortisol. Cortisol slows fat release, cortisol increases cravings, and cortisol signals the body to protect itself, not release. I've seen this clinically, and I've also lived this personally. So let me slow this down and share something real with you. When I lost over 130 pounds, people assumed the hardest part was being disciplined. They assumed it was willpower. They assumed it was the grind. But the hardest part for me was not the weight loss itself. It was the mental tension afterwards. I remember going into seasons where life was busy, working long shifts, juggling responsibilities. And I would feel this quiet fear rising up, not the fear of falling or failing in life, but the fear of regaining weight. I would think, if I loosen up even just a little, will the weight all come back? And that fear made me tighten everything. I tightened my food, I tightened my schedule, I tightened my workouts, and on the outside, I looked disciplined. But on the inside, I was exhausted because control feels powerful in the beginning, but long term, it's draining. And what I had to learn, and what took me time to learn, was that my body didn't need more tightening. It needed reassurance. It needed consistency. It needed nourishment. It needed sleep. It needed flexibility without panic. And it finally, when I shifted from control to support, that's when things stabilize. And I want you to hear this clearly. You can be strong, disciplined, and accomplished and still operate from fear, because I was. But here's the reframe. Your body does not respond best to control. It responds best to safety. And safety looks like eating consistently, not skipping meals out of fear, moving your body in supportive ways, sleeping enough, and allowing flexibility without panic. Safety tells your nervous system we are not in danger. And when the body feels safe, It doesn't cling to weight for protection. This is the difference between white knuckling weight loss and building something sustainable. So here's the question I want you to sit with for this week. What if the reason you struggle to maintain weight loss isn't because you lack discipline, but because your body never felt safe enough to trust the process? That's a different conversation. I had a client recently who told me if I feel like if I stop tracking every bite, everything will fall apart. And I asked her gently, has tracking every bite made you feel calm or did it make you feel anxious? And she paused because anxiety isn't sustainability. And for me, learning that lesson after losing 130 pounds changed everything. I had to stop asking, how do I control this? And I started asking, how do I support my body? And this is exactly why I wrote The Wait is Over. Because weight loss is not just about losing pounds, it's about rebuilding trust. And inside my Fresh Start Holistic Weight Loss Program, we don't just focus on food, we focus on safety, habits, mindset, and long-term sustainability, with or without medication. Now, if you're not a client yet, here's what I want you to do for this week. For the next 7 days, I want you to shift to one question. Instead of asking, how do I control this? I want you to ask, what would supporting my body right now looks like? And that might mean eating breakfast even if you're not hungry yet, or going for a walk instead of a punishment workout, going to bed 30 minutes earlier, and not panicking over one meal. Support builds safety, and safety builds sustainability. Now, if this message resonated with you, I want you to comment safety below. And if you're ready to stop white knuckling weight loss and actually build something sustainable after 40, check out my book, The Wait is Over, and learn more about my coaching at amplehealthandwellness.com. Well, that's all I have for this episode. And until next time, remember, your health is not a secret. It's your story. So own it. Bye.